Hey you guys, what is up? I have a Battle Roads report. This morning, I guess, yeah, this morning, I got up at like 6:30 in the morning to head over to Bentonville, Arkansas. It's about a 3-hour drive. It's a pretty isolated kind of place geographically, which is just so like highways and like ways to get places. It ends up being a really small event every year. In fact, there were only 9 masters, which actually for Battle Roads, like the way championship points are distributed, top 4 get championship points if you have 8 or more, so that means like half of us were getting championship points right off the bat. So, it's kind of exciting news knowing that it's kind of going to be an easier day to get some championship points. But we also had a mixed age division because we only had seniors and masters, so we decided to, I guess the PT or the TO decided to, have us all play in one age group. So that was a thing too. So I decided to play Terrakion. I went back to the list I played in Memphis. It's the list I like the most. It's a really consistent list. So I thought today is kind of an interesting one. So round one, I am paired against a senior. I cannot remember his name, unfortunately, but he's newer to the game, and basically, I think he's playing a. I saw some Thundurus and some Zekrom, and I also saw like a Shinx, but I think he's kind of playing yellow. I don't know if he's playing Eels or not. Hopefully he is because Eels are just good for anything yellow. But basically, I think this is the only game of the day I go first. And, I attach energy turn 1 and 2, and I get Eviolite on there, and I start rock tumbling, catchering, taking KOs really quickly. I take 5 KOs in 6 turns, and I bench him out, so it's going to be 1-0. I mean, he was running everything yellow, and I just needed one Terrakion EX to kind of go through everything. So moving on to 2-0, I am playing Gene. He's a local from the Bentonville area, I believe, and I'd known who he was through the local Facebook group we have for Arkansas, so I knew he was going to be there. So he's playing Darkrai Hydreigon, which is a pretty good matchup for me. He actually goes first, and his first turn, he gets the Ultra Ball. I actually mulliganed a couple times before this, but he gets the Ultra Ball, discarding the 2 Darks, and then he double Dark Patches to a bench Darkrai and has an energy on his active Sableye that he attached for turn, and then he Junk Hunts. His Dino, I'm sorry. So he tries to, I think, paralyze me or whatever Dino's attack does, the dragon one. I think it's Deep Growl. He tries to Deep Growl me, and he fails. So basically, I'm just attaching to my Terrakion EX that I started with. And the way this one goes down is that he went to attach to his Violus because he evolved the next turn, and unfortunately he confused Violus with Hydreigon, thinking that he had the Dark Trans ability, and like he wouldn't have even had to have attached there to retreat. So really kind of a big misplay on his part. And then so he went to retreat, and then he went to go switch the energy, and I was like, you can't switch the energy since he had already retreated. We didn't let him take it back, and I know that's something that's really interesting to talk about, letting your opponents take things back. I chose not to in that situation, simply because, I kind of felt pressure to do well today. I do consider, these games serious, and like tournament settings for me are definitely different than just playing casually. I'm always going to let someone take something back in, just a casual game. But so I chose not to, and he ends up dead drawing after that, so I don't think it actually mattered too much. I hold on to an end that I hit off a random receiver, and I play like a Charen or something, and I don't really need to draw too much. I actually bench him after KOing that Zweilous and that Darkrai, and yeah, so he didn't hit anything else after that. So I'm on to 2-0, and I am paired against another person whose name, unfortunately, I don't remember. He actually ended up getting 4th on the day, so he obviously had a very good day and everything like that. And he's Kevin Murphy, one of my really good friends, who was there today. It was one of his friends that he brought, who was newer to the game, but I think he had some experience with just like various card games and stuff like that. So he's playing Darkrai Hydreigon, and this game is really weird. We both dead draw for I think 3 to 4 turns. I get some attachments though, so that's really what gives me an advantage here. My deck being faster just due to just manually attaching, my deck seems to do better. And I start rolling and taking prizes and just getting a lot of energy on my field. I know that I had basically what it came down to was he promoted a Sigilyph when I'd already taken 4 prizes, and So my response to this was to actually play a switch, energy switch, and actually get an attached return to get on, I think, 3 energy on my Terrakion, just my regular one. So I could then land crush his Sigilyph. And then I didn't really notice this, but his Shaman EX already had a Dark, so he attaches the blend, and now I'm like, oh no. So he takes that 1 prize, but before doing so, he ends me down to 1. So I only have on my field this Terrakion that's going to get KO'd, but has 3 fighting energy on it. A Terrakion EX that I believe also has 3 energy on it. A Mewtwo with no energy on it, and then a Bouffalant with a DCE on it. So he doesn't have the Eevee for it. I think I only heard that he played 2, and he already had attached 1. So I'm pretty confident he doesn't have the Eevee, and he doesn't when he Revenge Bursts. But he ends me down to 1 card, and it's a switch. So I'm pretty nervous. I'm down at 1 prize. I decided to promote the Mewtwo, knowing it doesn't really matter what I promote, just hoping to top deck the energy to Gold Breaker. But I actually end up top decking the Catcher. I decide to play the switch, go to Terrakion EX, Catcher out a Dino on the bench, and land crush it for KO in game. So, really, it seemed like a one-sided game based on the prize count, but really what could have been a very close and scary game. Him X-balling me, he could have knocked out anything in my deck at that point, just based on where my Eviolites were, and my Terrakions being weak to grass. So on to 3-0. There are only 4 rounds, so I know I'm getting championship points at this point, and something weird kind of happens here. I don't really understand exactly what happens with this pairing thing, but it turns out that I am not paired against the other 3-0, who happen to be in seniors, actually. So I'm not paired against him, even though we're the only 2 3-0s in play. Instead, I'm paired against my really good friend, Kevin Murphy, who is 2-1. So I get down paired, which hurts my resistance a little, but I know if I win, I win the Masters event. Now I feel like if I lose, that hurts my resistance more, blah, blah, blah. Whereas I feel like I could have actually just won even had I lost, potentially, to that person in seniors who was 3-0 just because of resistance. So Kevin and I end up having a game that I got on film, but because I forgot my tripod, the angle's really awkward, and I don't think I'm going to use also the quality of the game, as you'll hear. So like my last game, there's a huge supporter drought. I end up only seeing Pokemon and trainer cards for my first 4 turns, including my drawing 7 cards for the beginning of my hand, which is really weird because 27 of the cards in my deck are energy and supporters, which are really the things I needed to just be able to start attaching. So I only get 1 energy attachment in my first 4 turns, just hitting nothing else, and he ends up playing a really techie version of Rayquaza Eels, and he actually has a Sableye in there as well as an Emolga. So he calls for family to get some Dynamos out, and he plays a level ball, and he keeps junk hunting for this level ball to get out 3 Eels, and then he has an open bench space. He ends up using an Ultra Ball, and so by the time I have 2 energy and I'm threatening to land crush on my next turn, thinking maybe I could turn things around, I had KO'd an Eel and taken 1 prize. He just pulls off everything, gets a bunch of lightning in the discard, and gets the Dragon Burst off for 180. I fumble for a few more turns. He has a catcher when I try to attach to a bench Pokemon, and basically I think sack a Bouffalant in the active or something like that. And he just has the cards for game. He didn't really hit supporters in the beginning, but he started to hit a few Junipers, and he didn't play Ents, knowing that they would help me. And he ends up rolling me. So I end up going 3-1, and because of weird resistance things, this weird pairing, there are 3 3-1s, and I end up in 3rd place, which, I still get my championship points. I'm still pretty happy with this. It was kind of weird. I'm not too bummed, though, mainly because I like Kevin, who got 2nd, and then Mark Oliver, who's, frequently on this channel and all that, he got 1st. So, I'm, super stoked for him. Super props to both those players for the awesome jobs they did today. It was a really it was a weird day for Battle Roads. My deck drew really poorly overall, yet I still saw some pretty good results just based on my deck choice and really how advantageous it is in some of these metas, especially when I see a lot of Darkrai Hydreigon. Eels variants, even Rayquaza Eels, is a fairly decent matchup, despite the fact that I lost to it today and have been losing to it a little bit more lately than before. Maybe things need to be retooled for that, but I did have some pretty good matchups just around based on what I was playing. So thanks for watching. Make sure you rate, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will catch you guys later.